Let's begin today's satsang with chanting of Om 3 times, and then we will do some mantras and sing a beautiful bhajan dedicated to Lord Ganesha. So, wherever you are, close your eyes, bring your hands to prayer at heart center. जहाँ कहीं भी आप हैं अपनी आंखें बंद कर ले, हाथों को नमस्कार मुद्रा में छाती के पास में लेके आ जाए. Take a deep breath in, एक लंबी गहरी श्वास अंदर लेंगे एंड धीरे धीरे उसे जाने दे. We'll chant Om together 3 times. Take another deep breath in. And if you would like, you can keep your eyes closed as we chant a few mantras and begin our bhajan. Mangalam Bhagavan Vishnu Mangalam Garunadhwaja Mangalam Pundarikakshaya Mangalaya Tanu Hari Sahana Vavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviriyang Karavavahe Tejasvina Vadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahe All together. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. You can keep your eyes closed. We have a beautiful, actually, not Ganesh Om, but there's a beautiful Guru Vandana we sing every morning. We'll sing a few lines of the Guru Vandana. I've got also lyrics. Just a second. हे मेरे गुरुदेव करुणा करुणा सिंधु करुणा कीजिए हे मेरे गुरुदेव करुणा सिंधु करुणा कीजिए हुआ धम आधीन शरण अब शरण में लीजिए खा रहा गोते हूँ मैं भव सिंधु के मझधार में आसरा है दूसरा कोई ना अब संसार में मुझ में है जब तप ना साधन और नहीं कुछ ज्ञान है निर्लजता है एक बाकी और बस अभिमान है पाप बोझे से लदी नैया भंवर में आ रही नाथ दौड़ो और बचाओ जल्द डूबी जा रही हे मेरे गुरुदेव करुणा सिंधु करुणा कीजिए हुआ धम आधीन शरण अब शरण में लीजिए हे मेरे गुरुदेव करुणा सिंधु करुणा कीजिए हुआ धम आधीन शरण अब शरण में लीजिए
Welcome to Satsang, and what a beautiful way to begin by offering our love, our devotion, and our prayers to the Guru. I know in some communities in the West, the guru is sort of a buzzword. There's that sense of somehow bowing to a guru or surrendering to a guru means that one has given up one's power, or one has become not self-sufficient, or that somehow the highest and ultimate point is to not need a guru. But in the tradition of Sanatan Dharma, in the Hindu tradition, in this Vedic tradition, the presence of the guru, it's not about giving up one's personal freedom. It's actually about gaining more freedom. The guru is the one who actually helps us become free. Because the guru is the one who removes darkness and brings light. That's what the word guru means. The remover of darkness, the bringer of light. If I'm living in darkness, if I'm living in ignorance, that's what the darkness means, ignorance. So if I'm living in ignorance, bounded by ignorance, stuck in ignorance, where am I free? Then I'm just a slave to my ego. I'm a slave to my fears. I'm a slave to my patterns. I'm a slave to my emotions. I'm a slave to all of that ignorance. By bringing light to the darkness, the guru frees me of being that slave. So it makes me actually sad, coming from the West, hearing sometimes people with that misconception that, oh, I don't want a guru because I want to be free. And I think, well, certainly it's possible. God is available for all. God is accessible for all. And yet, in this human condition, in this human experience of ego, of patterns, of sanskaras, of emotions, of conditioning, of a culture that's constantly pulling us in so many ways, it's certainly easier said than done to become free of all of that without some assistance. It's certainly easier said than done to be free of all the conditioning of your own mind, all the patterns of your own subconscious, without the light of one who can see, of one who knows where you're going. Showing you that light within yourself. That's the other misconception about gurus, is the guru is not the one who's shining the light on himself or herself. The real guru is not about, oh, hey, look at me. The guru is shining the light on you so you can see the truth of you. So it was a beautiful way to begin satsang, diving into that devotion to the guru, because satsang is being in the presence of truth, allowing ourselves to delve, to dive into real truth. But in order to do that, I have to be prepared to let go of my attachment to falsehood. It's like you cannot swim in the pool if you don't let go of the side. You cannot scuba dive in the ocean if you don't let go of the boat. And in the same way, you cannot delve into the ocean of truth if you don't let go of the falsehood that we're clinging to. So that devotion to the Guru, that presence of the Guru, is sometimes a very gentle, sometimes not so gentle, prying of our fingers off of the edge, so that we actually can dive into truth. But sometimes we need some assistance getting our fingers unpried, or rather, getting our fingers pried loose, unattached from the falsehood. So, a prayer to the Guru, a song to the Guru is always a beautiful way to begin. It's like so many of the classes across India always begin with the prayer to the Guru. So, I'm so glad we were able to begin satsang with that beautiful chanting to the Guru. Yes.
Pranam Sadhviji. The first question which come in my mind is how to remove our resistance to letting light shine on our darkness.
Great. So how do we remove that resistance when we're talking about turning our darkness to light, letting the light shine? How do we remove that resistance? And it's funny because you would think it would be basic common sense that inevitably we would want to live in truth. We would want to live in light. But funnily, we don't. It's like, for me, the most perfect example, metaphor of that is all over the world. There's something universal about kids and bath time. So, it's the evening, the kid's been out playing in the yard, in the dirt, at school, and now it's time for the bath. You get the kids' clothes off. What do kids do? Universally. Little toddlers go naked, screaming and crying through the house. Universally. There is something about kids, young kids, who don't want to be bathed. And it's so funny because, again, you would think that coming back from school, coming back from the playground, coming back from the park, they would say, "Thanks, Mom. Thanks, Dad, for trying to scrub this dirt off of me. Thanks, Mom. Thanks, Dad, for cleaning me of this dirt." But they don't. What do kids do? They cry, they scream, they run around through the house naked. No bath, no bath, no bath. And for me, that's this perfect metaphor for us with our darkness. Because in the same way that it doesn't make sense for kids to not want the dirt scrubbed off them, unless you can put yourself into the mind of that child and what the fear must be of getting clean. In the same way, it doesn't make any logical sense that we would resist seeing the light, that we would resist having darkness, especially darkness about ourselves, removed and the light shone upon us. But we do. And this is where the schools of psychology for so long have overlapped with schools of spirituality. We use different words, the vocabulary is different, but the teaching is the same. We hold on to our patterns, we hold on to ignorance because it is what we know. It's what feels safe. And especially if those patterns have been given to us by our parents, by our families of origin. If theirs was sort of a culture in the family that we bought into that says, oh, people like us, not good enough, not rich enough, not cool enough, not beautiful enough, not successful enough, not whatever it may be enough. Maybe we were raised believing, don't get your hopes up. Don't dream too big. Who do you think you are? That's not for you. Maybe we were raised constantly being compared to people who were better than we were. Why can't you be as smart as your sister? Or as smart as your brother? Or as pretty as your sister? Or as nice, or as funny, or as obedient, or whatever it may be. But when we get all of these patterns, particularly from our families, particularly from our parents, there's a very interesting resistance to moving beyond them. Even though allowing them to hold us keeps us stuck. But it's as though on some subconscious level, we are betraying our family or being unloyal to our family if somehow we rise higher, freer than what we were told we could be, or what we were told we are, or than what our parents were able to achieve or become or experience. That somehow if we were told when we're young, you're stupid, you're worthless, if somehow we saw patterns, then to not fulfill that, somehow on a very, very deep psychological level, can feel like a betrayal. Additionally, there's that pervasive sense of darkness within us that again comes not just from our family but from our culture that tells us you are your body, you are what you look like, you are the color of your skin, you are your bank account, you are what you've achieved, you are all of these things, which leads us all to focus our lives on changing that. The color tone of my skin should be better. There should be more money in my bank account. The ratio of my bust to my waist to my hips should be better. I should have more followers on my social media account. I should be the one who my parents can say to the neighbors, look what my son or my daughter is doing. I should fulfill that agenda. And that's darkness. Not because it's evil or bad, but just because it's ignorance. Just because it keeps us stuck from actually embracing the fullness of who we are, which we may find, God forbid, in acceptance of the color of our skin, of acceptance in the shape of our bodies without spending money on creams or diets or makeup. Without, God forbid, feeling badly about ourselves, that we don't look a certain way. Without, God forbid, buying into the cultural drama that says I should lose weight or gain weight, make money, vacation here, vacation there. All of that clinging is darkness, because it's constantly telling me you should be different, act different, think differently. And sometimes, frequently, in my light is my freedom, and vice versa. In my freedom is my light. And so when I can be free of all of that nonsense, then I'm able to live in the light. But that's a scary place to go, because I'm literally then defying the family, I'm defying society, I'm defying culture, I'm defying people around me, but I'm living true to who I am. And that's the courage that is needed so badly.
The second question which comes in, when people meet and start dating, why do they waste time in playing games by being on their best behavior instead of being honest from the beginning?
So this touches upon what I was speaking about in the first question, which is we're guided, we're indoctrinated to be different, to believe that we have to be different in some way. And therefore, if I feel like I'm meeting someone, I'm dating, I want this person to like me. And of course, it's not only dating. It's in friends' circle. It's everywhere. But I'm constantly told, you need to be different. I'm constantly told, who you are isn't good enough. And this is something that all of us have taken in on some level at some point in our lives. And so we go through our lives doing drama. We do drama when we date. We do drama on the first day at school. We do drama at the beginning of a new job. And a lot of people keep doing it throughout all of school, throughout all of their career, throughout all of their social life. And this is a tragedy. And as the question asked, why don't we just be real from the beginning? Well, yeah, God, that would be really refreshing. It would be really refreshing for everyone, because of course we all know the dance. And so if someone is being a certain way on the first date, you know, they're doing the first date dance. So everybody is constantly dancing in this, wondering, oh my God, what if they knew the real me? They wouldn't like me. But simultaneously wondering, I wonder what he's really like. I wonder what she's really like. Because they know, just like I'm doing a drama, so is the other one doing a drama. But in order for the dance to stop, we have to all agree that we're going to stop it. And this is where the courage to be real, to be true, to live in our light is so important. To be able to stand up and not worry about what people are going to say. Or, if you worry, fine, but to do it anyway. To be honest, okay, here I am. Yes, I'm worried about what everybody's going to say, but I'm not going to let that stop me. And slowly, 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 the worry dissipates because you realize that in your honesty, in your openness, in your vulnerability, is actually where you find the people you want to spend your life with. Whether on a romantic level, on a friendship level, on a community level. Because no one wants to be with people who are putting on a show. It's very tiring. It's very tiring to always wonder, Sach kya hai? What's real? But it's also very tiring to always be having to put on a show. And so we would be doing each other such a service, to be honest. But what that means is that all of us together have to create a safe space for each of us to be real, to be true. And what that means is no gossiping. Because one of the worst things in the world, which everyone who's been at school, anywhere in the world knows, is you have a situation where you're in a group, 3 people, 4 people, 5 people, whatever it is, more than 2. The first person who stands up and walks away from that group, what does everyone else do? They start talking about the person who just stood up and left. Now, that may seem harmless, but it's violence. It's violence because no one in that group then can be honest, can be open, can be vulnerable because they know, jaise main yahan se uth ke chale jaungi, they're going to gossip about me. The minute I leave from here, no one wants to leave first. And everyone in that situation, and by the way, we talk about it in school, but it happens in our workplaces. It happens in community. It happens even more tragically in spiritual communities, in dressing rooms of yoga studios, in the line for chai at mandirs. So don't think that in spiritual communities we're free of it. We should be. Tragically, we're not. But this is where all of us need to stop agreeing to be part of the violence. We need to stop being the one or being part of those who will gossip, who will badmouth, who will put on a show. Let us all agree. Or at least let some of us agree. If you don't want to agree, all right. But at least let a whole bunch of us come together and create safe spaces. No drama. We're going to be honest about ourselves. And then you have certain rules, like no gossiping. Everyone should feel free to be the first person to walk away from a group knowing they are not going to talk about me, that this is a gossip-free zone. Our homes should be gossip-free zones, our schools should be gossip-free zones, our workplaces should be gossip-free zones. And for God's sakes, our spiritual places should be gossip-free zones. And so as we have more and more spaces to be true to who we are, then you take a situation like a first date that is inherently stressful, inherently that which makes us look in the mirror 100 times between our room and the front door. Then you have that confidence to walk out on a first date and to be free. But that's a hard place to start. If everywhere else in your world you know people are gossiping about me, people are judging me, people are criticizing me, I can't be who I am, A first date is a really hard place to start. So rather than trying to set in new norms for first dates right off the bat, I would suggest that we set new norms for places that are a little less intimidating. Let's start there. Let's start in our communities. And then everyone will have the courage to know I can be open. I can be real. I can be vulnerable. And hey, guess what? People really like me. Guess what? People love me. Guess what? Who I am is wonderful. Even with my vulnerabilities, even with my difficulties, even being honest. In fact, they love me more when I'm honest. And then we develop the courage to be honest on a first date.
Pranam Sadhviji, the next question is, I'm highly devoted to Lord Shiva, but I cannot travel to the 12 Jyotirlings, and I don't know how to meditate toward the Supreme. You have the power and the guidance to take me to the right path to serve my Lord. Please bless me and tell me the right path or meditation from which you're known to.
So, two pieces here. Lord Shiva and my personal experience with meditation. Let's take Lord Shiva first. One should always start with God. So, first of all, don't worry if you can't travel. Lord Shiva is always there with you. Always. For me, one of the most powerful teachings of Lord Shiva is when you look at the three main forms. So throughout temples, throughout deities, throughout so many different places, we have three main forms that we see of Lord Shiva. One is the beautiful image of Lord Shiva sitting in meditation. One is Lord Nataraj, the Lord of Yoga, Lord of Dance. And one is the Shiva Linga. Now, again, each of them have different names and different traditions. But they represent these three aspects. And for me, this is very powerful because most of us think that our meditation is somehow separate from our action or from our life in different ways. We think that we have our experience of infinity over here, and our experience of karma yoga over here, and our experience of bhakti over here, and our experience of meditation over here. But if you take these three forms, what you realize is Lord Shiva is giving us a message. Because chronologically in his life, it's not like he went from meditating to dancing to being just a Shiva Linga. They're three different symbols of different aspects of him. And what they remind us is, in our meditation, there should be dance. There should be yoga. In our yoga, in our dance, in our movement, there should be meditation. And throughout all of it, there should be the experience of the infinite. no matter what you're doing yoga, you're dancing, you're acting, you're in the world. That should be filled with a meditative mindset. And your meditation should not be just numb or dull. Meditation is not about a dumbed down consciousness. Meditation is active and vibrant. Vibrant and active with dance, with yoga, but in an inner way. And throughout all of it, there should be this awareness that although I'm acting, I'm dancing, I'm meditating, I'm serving, I'm one with the infinite. That is the core nature. So it's a very powerful message that Lord Shiva gives us. And on a personal level, for me, the most powerful form of meditation has been truly a surrender of all of that I've identified as, that I've thought I am. And so for me in meditation, when anything comes up, whether it's a thought, whether it's a feeling, an emotion, a memory, a prediction, so whether it's something I'm thinking about the future, something I'm thinking about the past, whatever it may be, I just bring myself back to the awareness that that's not who I am. That I'm not the past, I'm not the future, I'm not the thoughts, I'm not the identity, I'm not fear, I'm not anxiety, I'm not longing, I'm not pushing away, I'm not desiring, I'm not any of the things that have happened to me. And to just exhale them all. As they arise, just exhale them. And for me, the meditation is a very deep, literal, it almost feels like a palpable dropping deep within myself. As I can let go, it feels like if you can think of Velcro, and one piece of Velcro is all of the mind games that says, this is who you are, this is who you are, this is what you should be doing, this is how you should be, this is all of that. Your lists of things to do, your lists of ways that you haven't done things right, the mistakes you've made, the things that you want to do. All of the emotional, all of that. That's this top layer of Velcro. And the bottom piece of it is you. And most of the time, most of us live with these two pieces stuck together. And for me, when I meditate, I have a very palpable sense of this incredible grace and power that pulls this bottom layer away from the top. But it requires consciousness on my part to see this, to see it for what it is, and to just let it go. So to literally exhale and drop down, and to drop down, and to drop down, and to get farther and farther from all of that nonsense. And the beautiful part of that is it lasts, even when your eyes open. It lasts until the mind gets back into that mind game. But once you experience it in meditation, it's easy to remember it in life, to remember, oh yeah, I got stuck in that Velcro again. And then to just take a moment and to unstick yourself So just practice meditation, whatever works. Follow the breath. Watch a beautiful image of Lord Shiva. Chant Om Namah Shivaya while you look at a candle flame. There's so many different beautiful ways. None of them is wrong. None is better or worse. But just do that. Of who you think you are.
One last question on this beautiful concept of trying to create that space between the two. I think for me personally also, there is such a charge, and it beautifully links to the first question. There's such a charge of looking at that for what it is, because there is such an association for it being me. How do we begin to loosen our grip on that?
Beautiful. We hold on to that piece of Velcro because it feels safe. It's what we know. These are the patterns. This is what I know. It's what my parents taught me. It's what my culture has taught me. It's how most people I know are living. It's how I've always lived. It is that which has kept me afloat, albeit maybe miserable, but afloat nonetheless. That's another very interesting irony of the human condition, is we'd rather suffer with that which we know than be free in the unknown. And the only way around that is to have the courage to drop into the void, to have the courage to not know who you are. Sure, it's easy to let go of this Velcro if I know where I'm going. If there's another piece of Velcro down here, or there's a trampoline, or there's a mattress, or there's a swimming pool, yeah, then it's easy to let go, because I know where I'm going. But when we're dropping into the core of ourself, you don't know where you're going. I can give you words. I can say you're going into spaciousness. You're going into pure awareness. You're going into light. But these are just words. You don't know where you're dropping in. And that's why it's scary. And the only way around it is to actually drop into the void. Not to try to figure out who I am. Not to try to create a mattress down here, or a net down here, or a swimming pool down here that I'm going to somehow drop lightly and nicely into and it will catch me. But to have the courage to let go of here into the void. And that is scary. But it's the only way. And that's where the faith in God comes in. Because that's the only mattress that exists. That to be able to say, okay, God, I'm going to let go. I have no idea where I'm going. I have no idea who I am. I have no idea if I'm ever going to come back, or I'm going to wake up chained to a bed in a mental institution. Because I don't know what's on the other end of this void. But you know. You've created me. You've created all of me. Even this amazing mass of trillions of neurons that drive me crazy from morning till night, they are exquisite. They make me breathe, they digest my food, they allow me to walk, and they drive me crazy. But you've created them so you know this. You know the games, you know the drama, and you know who I am. So I'm going to do a free fall into faith in you. And a free fall into faith of a lineage of sages, of saints, of mystics, of masters, who have spoken to us from the other side of that free fall. Because it's not actually death. It seems to us sometimes like I'm literally going to die, but it's just an ego death. And so the beautiful poetry, literature, scripture, song that we have that's been given to us has been given to us from the other side. So don't try to give yourself a safety cushion. Don't try to tell yourself, I know who I am, I know where I'm going. You've got to just have the faith to drop into the void. It's dark, it's scary. You don't know who you are. But you do it because staying stuck here is death. Death of the self. Dropping is death of the ego, so it feels scary. But staying stuck, the minute you've really embarked on a deep spiritual path, you know. Staying stuck here, this is death of the self. And that fear of staying stuck has to become worse, more terrifying than fear of the void. And that's what finally allows you to say, okay, whatever there is on the other side, I'm dropping into it. Because I know what it's like to be stuck. And I can't live like that anymore. And so you do that free fall. And for me, what's so beautiful is summed up perfectly in my favorite parable about this, which is the man who was holding on to the rope for dear life, hanging on to a rope, sweating, nervous, panicked. If he lets go, he's going to die. And he hears this angelic voice say, let go. He says, I can't let go. If I let go, I'm going to die. I'm going to plummet to my death. And the angel says, all right, just let go with one finger. He thinks, all right, I can do that. Her voice is so sweet. So he lets go with one finger. Slowly, slowly, this angel coaxes him into letting go with every finger until he's now holding on to this rope for dear life with just one last finger. And the angel says, let go. He says, now I can't. Now you're crazy. Now I will absolutely plummet to my death. The angel says, let go. And in some amazing moment of surrender to this angelic voiced angel, he lets go. But amazingly, he doesn't plummet to his death. And he can't figure it out. And finally, he looks down and he realizes he's been standing on solid ground the whole time. And I love that so much because this plunge into the void that we fear so deeply with such terror. And we stay stuck our whole lives with this death grip on life, our whole lives. When we finally let go, we realize, hey, I've been held this whole time. Hey, there actually is this divine universe holding me. I don't have to hold on for dear life. I don't have to be stuck up here to this Velcro. and being held. But it takes that moment of faith and courage to plummet if thou must, knowing that God's going to be there and catch us. And that anything is better than staying stuck. Have a beautiful, beautiful evening. And we'll see you all tomorrow, same time, for our sunset meditations on the banks of Ganga. Have a beautiful evening, a beautiful day wherever you are. So much love to you all.
Saviturvare